Amun, this is Seneva.
And this is Johannes.
And you are watching Board Gaming Ramblings.
That's true, and today we are taking a look at Amun-Re. This is a completely new game from... No. It's a 20-year-old game from Rani Knizia, and now there's a 20th century anniversary edition. No, not 20th century. A 20th anniversary.
It's been around
edition.
for a long time.
As long as the Pyramids has been around, there's always been an Amun-Re by Rani Knizia. This is a 20-year anniversary edition from Alicat Games, and we are in this video going to talk to you a bit about what's it all about?
Yes.
What is the differences? What's going to happen in the campaign? What will you find when you open up your box of Amun-Re?
Oh, nothing, because it's just
only a lady, and that's kind of sound like we were doing like an intro, and then there was going to be something happening.
No,
but
it's not.
not. It's just in this episode we are going to talk about that, and now it's the episode. So yeah,
we're gonna have a little commercial break in between.
Dun, 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 dun. Do you like board games? Do you like card games? Then you should go out and buy some.
Yes.
Buy board games now for the price that they are sold by. In a store, online, wherever you want to. Today, treat yourself to a board game. Okay, back to the episode. This is Amun-Re preview. If you did not understand, do you have the box?
Yes, I do.
Yes, it's this game right here. Yes. Amun-Re, the game. 20th century anniversary edition by Rani Knizia and Alicat Games. So yeah, Rani Knizia has always been around. Feels like he has made 16 billion games. And some of his games, older games, are harder to come by. We have never played Amun-Re. No. We have friends who really love the game, but I've seen it play, but never got to play it. But we did play the card game version of it that came out in 2017. That was our first Essen, so we got it there and we played that. And I always wanted to play that, the big version, because it's an auction game, which I like, and it really also has an auction mechanism that you can like.
I can tolerate it.
Yeah, because it's like more of a, if you haven't played the game, like you are trying to get these different areas that it's called. Areas, I'm going to call it areas, and you want to basically win them, and then you want to place pyramids in there. There's different reasons for winning different areas. Some of them have different bonuses, and also you have victory point cards that you're trying to win specific areas that you then will score for by the end of the round. You're going to do like 3 auctions and 3 rounds where you buy stuff, build up your workers, your farmers, which is the same thing, and pyramids, get some special cards, and you're going to do that 3 times, and you're going to score, and then you're going to basically reset it, but all the pyramids and everything is going to still be on the board. So if Sunniva was really good at building loads of pyramids in one area at the beginning of the game, I can win that at the second half of the game, and that could be good for me.
Yeah. The auction mechanism in this game is very interesting.
Yes.
Because you have these kind of tires that you will bid on, so you can't just bid whatever you want for that specific area that we're calling it now.
Region.
Region. That is
Better
nice.
Better word.
Region. I like it. You have to put on the 0 space 1, 3,
6, 10, 15.
Yes, and so
21,
fourth
35.
place. And then if somebody then overbids you, you can't really put the guy, jump over and put it on the better spot or the more expensive spot. Then you have to bid at some other region. So it's really interesting because you don't want people to overbid you, but you don't want to pay like a ludicrous sum for it either. So
Not all the time.
It's like a balance there, and it feels like fresh and different from other auction games.
It feels kind of like for me, like the auction mechanism in Keyflower, where you also get pushed out of an auction space and need to move your bid to another place. Obviously, this came way earlier than Keyflower. So most of you have probably played Amun-Re or know about the game, or else it's going to be huge. There's loads of videos already about that game. So we're going to talk a bit about the different things that this game adds.
Yes.
We are going to talk a bit about the 2-player variant, because that's kind of maybe the biggest change for the game, that you now can play with 2 players, which you couldn't do before. But first, briefly, I'm going to talk a little bit about the other expansions that we got in the prototype. I think there might be more in the Kickstarter. I not completely sure, but there's always some things happening in a campaign that is interesting. So first you have a expansion called an Afterlife expansion, and I enjoy these kind of expansions because it's kind of more like modules.
Yeah.
So you can just mix and match and play them with different modules as you please.
I like that.
The Afterlife expansion adds another thing you can buy in the market phase, which you buy these tiles that you put in your hand, and then at different points in the game you can play those tiles and you get bonuses, and you're kind of trying to build a pyramid in front of you, and there's a balance because you want to build loads of tiles because then you can get the pyramid higher and you get points for that, or you can also try to get many of the same kind of card or the same kind of tile, because if you place a tile on top of something that has it on the bottom of it, you will score it multiple times or get multiple coins or multiple cards. So it's a really neat little way. Like you need money for everything, and now you add another thing you need money for, and you're adding that kind of like, oh, do I want to spend my resources playing this? But most of the time they are really good, and I enjoyed playing with that.
Yeah, I agree. I thought like the balance from how it interacted with the other stuff in the game was interesting, because if you get a lot of these, what do you call it, farmers?
Yeah.
Then you want like the harvest or
You want to have a huge offering. Basically.
Yes, a huge offering, and that really corresponds with that strategy of building the pyramid, because if you have a lot of favor, it's easier to get that done.
Mm-hmm. That is true. I really enjoyed that. The other expansion that we got with it was the statue expansion. This is a very small kind of an expansion. I think I really enjoy in games is when they add this little, like, especially if you have the game already and you played it like hundreds of times and you like add this little tweak to it. So the statues is basically 8 big cards that you shuffle up, and in a 2-player game when we use the statues, you draw one of them, and I think you draw 2, maybe 3 in 5-player game, I don't remember. And then you add that statue to the first region that's going to be bid on for this round, and that statue is going to be there for the rest of the game, and the player who wins that region is going to take the statue card, and that gives them a special ability for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
And even though in our game it felt like it was, oh, that's very powerful, you still didn't win by having that.
No,
and you had
it was so disappointing.
And you had that in a very good position, but I think that can change up the game really depending on the ability and depending on where the ability ends up being in the region.
Absolutely. I thought that was nice. That means that you have a lot of these gods, which the pyramid symbolizes really, and it can give you some different abilities. And sometimes you really want to go for it because it matches very good with your strategy. Some are really like generic, so it fits with almost everything that you want to do. But sometimes you feel like, oh, but this kind of money isn't worth it anymore. And now it adds some value to a specific region that might change up how you play.
That is true. So it's just like tiny changes, but interesting changes. And as you know, we have not played the game like 20 times before, and now we're playing with this, so we can't really talk about how it changes up the game, but just trying to tell you what it is and how it felt for us.
Yes.
So the biggest thing then is the 2-player thingy, the 2-player variant, basically. So how does that work?
Yes, I thought that flowed very nicely. The difference is that you have 4 areas to bid on, and you're bidding...
So 2 each instead of 1 each.
Yes, absolutely. So you're winning 2 each, but for one of the regions, and you can decide that for yourself at the end of the auction, you decide, okay, I don't want to own this region, I just want a bonus. And the bonus is random every time, so some bonuses can be better, some can be worse. And then you take away that bonus, and the regions that didn't get chosen to be owned, they stay on for the next round.
That's
and then
true.
reveal 2 more to bid for, and then you win 2 each again.
Yeah.
So you're ending up with 3 regions that you own for that round.
Yes.
But you get some bonuses that are neat, and you also, that is very interesting, because if I see 2 regions that I really want, then I can try to win them both.
Yeah, that's
because
true.
then I will block it off for you, and then
That
I can
is
try
true.
to win it next round. But yeah, so that was interesting, I think.
I think this might be like most auction games doesn't work well with 2 players.
Yeah.
I think this variant really worked well with 2 players because the auction is the way that it is. It's not like adding the money, you're bidding on this, bidding on that. It's that moving of these pieces around and adding that 4 pieces. So basically are playing a 4-player auction, but just with 2 pieces each.
Yeah.
And I really enjoy the fact that the bonuses are Some of them are really good. Like you can get a bonus that is 3 points, and you can get one that is 1 point.
Yes.
And the 1 point then is going to be, oh, I don't really want to pay anything for that. But the 3 points, oh, getting 3 points is quite a bit in this game. So maybe paying 6 coins for 3 points isn't that bad in the end of the game.
Yeah.
And I really think that makes it work really well. When we play the 2 player now, I didn't think about it like, oh, we need another player here to play this.
I agree.
Because many of these games where you add a dummy player or you add that, many of them don't make it flow so well, make it like clunkier or stuff like that. Many are really good as well. But this really felt like, oh, we're just playing the same game, but we're just adding that second piece. And that was a really clever way of making a 2-player variant and making it work really well. There are going to be rules for this expansion playing it. I think you can play 3 players with the same variant.
Oh,
and I think you can also play 4 and 5 players without the variant, but with zero cards, which they are called, which gives some bonuses. So I think that this makes it a viable 2-player game.
Absolutely. It's a different puzzle because one time when we played it, you wanted to overbid me on the same card that you already was on, and that isn't allowed, but then you basically outbid yourself on the other card, and then you move your piece back to me. And you couldn't do that in a 4-player game.
Nope.
You could hope that would happen.
Oh, yeah.
But you couldn't manipulate the board in the same way.
True.
That costs a lot of money, but sometimes it's worth it.
I paid all the money.
Yeah, you still won.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
By a lot.
Yes, you did. But you see those cool mechanisms unfolding. You can play with it. You can get to know it. You can do a little bit different stuff than you would be able to do in a 3 or 4-player game.
That is true.
Yes.
I think basically there's if you never played the game, then you're going to get like a huge package of new stuff that you haven't played before. If you have played the game and you have it and you love it, then you will get the different expansions, and only you can know if that's worth it for you.
Yes.
Like check out the page, check out all of the rules for the expansions. We cannot tell you if that's something you need or not. But if this is a game you always wanted to play, I think this is a great way of getting it. And also if you are like us, people who play a lot of 2-player games, I think this was a really good 2-player variant. And it made it still feel kind of like the same game, but in, as you said, like a different kind of puzzle, which it always ends up being, but with some really nice rules to it, and the variant worked really, really well.
Yes.
So I hope that gave you some insight into Amun-Re and if the game might be for you. If it is, you can check out the link in the description to find out more about the game and back it if it's interesting for you. If you don't want to back it, then don't. Go and play something you own, or go and buy something in the store. Do whatever you want. And that is the end of the video. If you are still here and you have not subscribed, you can do so now by
clicking the subscribe button. It's fun and it's free and makes us happy like this. There's also a bell down there you can click to see when we post new videos.
That's true.
Which is a lot lately. If you want to do something that's not free, you can
go to patreon.com/boardgamingramblings, and that's the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Johannes.
I'm Cinema.
And you've been watching Board Gaming Ramblings, and bye-bye.